Yes, yes. So we will start. Uh, as you know, C language is a compiler language, and in order to learn and use C language, we need two things. The first thing is a compiler. We have to install a compiler in C, and also we have to install a text editor in order to write our code. So I'm not focus on these two a lot, but uh, I will have a quick review. I will show you how to install these two application, the text editor and also the compiler. Specifically, compiler is somehow difficult to install it in Windows 10, but unfortunately I don't have Mac and show you how to install on Mac. I just show you all in Windows, but in Windows 10 and Windows 11 is the same. So first of all, in order to install the compiler, we go on Google and write min, we will write min wg compiler. As you can see here, min gw compiler. And we will go on the first site. The name of this site is SourceForge. Let me close this tab. SourceForge. And we go on this site. Yeah, and here is the download button, and we click on that button, the compiler will be downloaded. And after that, we will go on the download box here on my computer and download. And this is the min.gw. We will install it. I have downloaded before because I don't want to take the time of life a lot. And we will click on that. Here's the install. We will install, and we also, before clicking on continue, please notice there is C drive min.gw. Please notice this address, and we will continue. Click on continue, and I have installed it before. He's asking me, do you want to install it again? I will click yes. And there is some packages. You have to click all of these packages, mark for installation. And we will mark all of them. When you're done, when you mark all of these packages, I'm not mark all of them. And when you mark all of this and go here, installation, and click apply changes. When you click this packages will be installed, and this window will be finished. And we will get back, and I wanna say discard change because I have installed this compiler before. And after that, the important part. Let me check. Are you guys hearing me or not? Guys, is my sound clear or not? Because I don't trust to my internet connection. I think it's somehow poor. Okay, it's excellent. We will continue. So after you install the compiler, we will come here, this search bar, we will write environment. En. When you write en, this application come up. As you can see, edit the system environment variable. We will click on that, and under this tab advanced, here we will click on tab advanced, and here let me open the mouse application, mouse highlighter, in order to show them. Yeah, let me close this. We will go here under the advanced tab, and here we will come here environment variable. In this tab, we will click on that, and inside this picture, inside this tab, we will click on the path, As you can see here, there is path, and we click on the edit, and here is another picture, and now we will come on my computer. I will go on C drive. As you can see here, inside this C drive, there is min.gw. We'll click on that, and we will go in folder bin. We'll click also, and after that we will go click on this search bar here, and we will copy this address. As you can see, I have copied that, and we will go also on this page here. I will click new, and we will paste this address. As you can see here, I have pasted this before, and here is my address, and I don't need it anymore. I will delete it again. But you, in order to work your compiler, you should do this. And after that, click OK, OK, and OK. This is it for your compiler. And in order to install the Visual Studio Code, this is the Visual Studio Code. We also go on Google. We just write VS Code. Also, we will go on the first website, Visual Studio Code. And here, we will click on this tab, download here. And there is 3 different devices. As you can see, Mac and Linux and Windows. And here is user installer. We will click on user installer, and there's 2 types of this application, 64 and 86. If your computer is 64-bit, you will click on the 64, and most of the computers are 64. And if your computer is 32-bit, you will click on to 86. So if your my computer was 64 and I clicked on 64, and this application also will be downloaded, and also we will go on download section, we'll install it. The installation of VS Code is easy, and I'm not installing it again. So this is the basic thing that you should do before writing your text, writing your code. And after installation, after you installed your compiler and your Visual Studio Code, you will open your Visual Studio, and you will see a page, something like this. And we will go on File, and we will go down here, Open Folder. We'll click on that, and we will create a folder. I'm going to create a folder on desktop. I'm going to click New Folder. Okay, and I will select this folder. We have created this folder, and here, I'm going to click here, Create New File, the first one. I'm going to create this, and I'm going to name this our project. I'm going to say first.c. This is our first project that we will write our code here. Before everything, we have to include a library, a header file in C language. Let me write this code, and I will explain you in more detail. We write hashtag include, and we will write here stdio.h. Let me find it, stdio.h. This is the header file. This is a library that our code, our printf function, and our other function will be inside this header file. And if we don't include this header file, our code won't work. The C language won't recognize our code. We have to include this header file. So in every project, we first include this library. So the name of this line of code is a studio library or header file. Both of them are correct. So here at the bottom of that, I'm going to create a function. So what is a function? We will explain it later. And the name of this function is main. And why we should create, first of all, a main function, also we will explain it later. So first, let me create the main function. I'm going to say int main, and I'm going to open, close, let me open, close parentheses. And here, I also open, close curly bracket. So inside this curly bracket, I'm going to say return 0. And why we should write return 0, I will explain it also later. So this is our main code in C language. As I have explained, this first line of code is our header file, this main function and other functions like printf function, scanf functions, and other functions, all of them, they are in this library. And we have to first write this library, include this library, in order to C compiler recognize this main function. And what is the main function? Main function is the entrance of our program. What does it mean? It means that when the compiler starts, the compiler will go first in the main function and check the code inside the main function. If the compiler didn't find any main function, it won't work. We have to include the main function in order to compiler recognize our code. So let me check the comments. Does anyone have any question? Yes, it's clear. Let me minimize this and see the chat also. Yeah, this is better. I can see the chat and also I can write our code. Okay. So here I'm gonna write just a hello word or hello or something like this. I'm gonna just write a text. Here I wanna say, and I will explain all of them again later. I'm gonna say hello. For example, I am learning C language. Hello, I'm learning C language. And I have to put semicolon here. So let's compile our program first. And how to open a terminal. Here we will click here. As you can see here, we will click it and the terminal will pop up. So I'm gonna write here gcc -o, and I will write the name of file. The name of file is here first. I'm gonna write, let me write first. And also again, I'm gonna write the name of file with indexes. First.c. I'm gonna write first.c. So I'm gonna hit enter. As you can see, no such file or directory. Here I should write the name of file correctly. First.c. And again, this file compiled, and in order to run this file, I have to write here // and again the name of file first. As you can see here is hello, I'm learning C language. This is our first program, and let's explain all of this code again in more detail. So guys, let me write again. Does you all hear me or not? Let me check the live. Here is current viewer 2 and the live is excellent. Please write me if you hear me. Yes. Okay. So once again, it's okay. Once again, here, this is include recognize our code. We have to write this. And after that, we write the main function. And why we say main function? What is main? What is function? Main, here is main, the name of this function. And what is function? Function is a block of code that we write our code inside that. So function is a block of code that we write code inside that, and it has some functionality. And in order to create a function, always remember that in mind, keep it in mind always. In order to create a function, we have to use parentheses after the name of our function, as you can see here. And also, we have to create curly bracket in order to write our code inside that. So I will explain the int later. And here, main is the name of our function. So why should we use the main function? We said that in order to compiler understand our code, we have to first create the main function, and inside the main function, we will write our code. So this is our code. This is printf, and inside this printf is our code. So what is the printf? Printf is a function that we can output some text with this function. As you can see here, if you remember, I said that before the name of every function, we have to use parentheses. Here, before, not after. As you can see here, after the main function, I use parentheses. And also, we wrote hello, I'm learning C language. And before that, we used two quotation mark. As you can see here, there's first one quotation mark and second quotation mark. So why we use quotation mark? We use quotation mark in order to print a string. What is the string? A string is a sequence of text. Basically, a string is a text. When we want to print out the text, we have to write our text inside the double quotation. Double quotations. So we'll understand that every function that has a type, it should return something. So what does it mean? Here, main is our function, and it has a type. So what is the type of this function? The type of this function is int. This int here is the type of our main. So I don't understand the type, and we will learn the type later. We have some different data type: integer, float, double, character, array, and many more. We will learn them later, but just know here, every function has a type. Basically, functions are, I'm gonna delete it, and here should we also delete this int, the type of this function, and write instead int, we will write wait. I'm gonna write wait. Our function also works correctly. Let's compile it again and see, does it work or not? I'm gonna compile it again. I'm gonna write again GCC. In order to compile a program, in order to print something or in order to run our code, we have to do two things. First, we should compile, we should generate a file, and after that, we will run that file. So first, to generate our file, we write this code here, GCC, and we will hit the space, and again, we will write -o, and also we hit the space, and here we will write the name of our file. As you can see here, the name of our file is first. I'm gonna write first. Again, hit the enter and write the name of our file again. I'm gonna write first, but in this time we will include .c again. I'm gonna hit the enter. As you can see, our file compiled correctly, and now we have to run this file. This is our file that we compiled now, and in order to run it, we should use /. What does the // means? // means that run this file. We will write the name of file. This file that its name is first, which this file is inside this folder, new folder. As you have remembered that first of all we create a folder, and inside that folder we create another file, this first file. And here I'm gonna say // and name of file first without .c, and now hit the enter. As you can see, it works correctly. Hello, I'm learning C language. So As you can see here, we deleted the int and also we deleted the return. So what is the difference? You will learn the difference between them. Difference between void and integer, float, and other function type. So let's write it again. Int. It doesn't matter if we don't write that. So also write return. Let me write return 0. And one more thing that should you keep in mind is that after every single line, we have to put semicolon. As you can see here, after the printf function, I have put it semicolon here, and after the return, I also put semicolon. So let's clear this semicolon and compile if our program worked correctly or not. I deleted the semicolon here, and I'm gonna, as you can see here, it shows an error. As you can see here, he wrote it expected semicolon before return. This is return, before that is here. So our compiler expected semicolon here. I want to put semicolon again. Let's compile it again. As you can see, it compiled it correctly, and let me run it. It works correctly. Hello, I'm learning C language. So this is the basic information about creating a file. This is our first project in C language. So I have created a list of topics about C language, and we will learn throughout this topic. So here is basic concept, and the first topic is setting environment, and it means that installation of compiler and editor, text editor, we did it. And the next one is printf function, and we said that printf function is a function that print out something, print out a text, print out a number. So we worked printf function, and the next topic is data type. As you can see here, we said that this int is the type of main. Main is a function. Main is a data. So int is its type. So we have some data type, and also we have some type, some data, and also we have some type. Data like variable, function, array, and other data. And also we have the type. Basically we have 4 different type, 4 basic type. It's better. We have 4 basic types in C language. The first one, as you know, is int. What does it mean? Int means integer. Integer means a whole number. -1, 0, and 1, and goes upward. It starts with negative and also goes until positive and including 0, integer number. This is one type, and another type is float. Float is another type, and the next type is double, and float means floating point. We use float type for decimal variable, and double is also for decimal variable. And what is the difference? I will talk it about later. And the next one is char. Char we use for character. We use this type for character. So this is about data type. We have 4 basic data type: integer, float, double, character. And we will learn them in more depth later. The next topic is variable. And now we will learn what is the variable and what is the constant variable. And after that also we learn constant variable. So let me check the live. Please write a comment if you hear me. If there is any question, does anyone have any question? I think the connection is somehow poor. Yeah, here is poor connection. I don't know why. I think this is because of weather condition. Let me check. I don't know why there is poor connection. This is internet problem. Let me check it again. Oh, there is no data. Hey guys, does anyone hear me? Just go to Google if your computer is Windows 10 or Windows 11. Just go to Google and write mean GW compiler and go to the first site. Go to this site and click here and go inside this website. So my internet is so poor. Just go inside to this website and yeah, here, hit the bottom, download. It will download the proper compiler for you. This is it. Easy. It's a piece of cake. So, read the chat box again. Where is the chat box? Yeah, it is here. We are hearing you. What version of MinGW here to download Windows? Yes. Okay. So this was for type of data type, and now let's create a variable and see the variable. What is the variable? Variable, let me delete this line of code again. Make it nicer. Variable is basically a container. It will contain a value for us. For example, I'm gonna write the name of this variable. I'm gonna write int x, and we will write here, for example, 5, and we will put semicolon after that. So what is this int? And we have said before that we have 4 different data type: integer, float, double, character. And this integer is the type of this variable. Every data in C language should have a type. a function should have a type. Here main function, the type of this main function is integer. And this is variable to this x. It means that every time we wrote x, it will show us 5. So the next type is float. I'm gonna write float. I'm gonna say y. And here inside this float y, I'm gonna write, for example, 5.5. Because the type of this y is float, we wrote a decimal number here. And also, can we have a record of the lecture? Yeah, of course. I will upload it, the record of this lecture, on YouTube. So the next data type is double. Double, we will write double. For example, I'm gonna write again z, and inside this double, I'm gonna write 9 point, for example, 10. And the next data type is character, and I will explain the difference between double and float later. Char, for example, the next variable, I'm gonna write f. Char f or char a, and I'm gonna write inside this char, I'm gonna write the character a. So, and also we have to put semicolon after that. This is for different variable with different data type. The first one is, let me write it, char with h. So the first one is x variable. The type of this x is integer. We assign a value integer to this variable because the type of this value is 5. The type of this variable is integer. And the next variable is y. The type of this y is float, and we assign the number 5.5 to this y variable. And this 5.5 is a floating point number. This is a decimal number. And also, we use the double type for decimal number, but there is a difference between float and double. The difference is that the precision of double is more than float. Just that's it. And if we use a long number, a very long number, the float will show us a very bad output. And double will show us a very precise output. So the next type is char, and this is the name of our variable a. Char is the type of this variable, and we assigned a. We said that char is for a character, single character, and a is here. Here is a. Let's make it capital here. This capital A is the value of this a, and we should write this single quotation. We should write our character inside a single quotation. So this is for data type, basic data type, and also we learned the variable. Let's print these variables. So I'm gonna print each of them. Here I'm gonna write, we said that in order to print a string or a variable, we use the printf function. I'm gonna write printf, and we said that if we want to make a function, we have to use parentheses after our function. I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna create parentheses, and also I'm gonna print the y. I'm gonna print the x. First variable is x. Just I'm gonna write, and also I'm gonna write double quotation, and I'm gonna write here x, or just I can write %d, and here I'm gonna write \n, and here I'm gonna write colon and x. Let's delete other variable and explain it before everything. So here, when we want to print a text, it was so easy. We just write printf, double quotation, and we write our code. Hello. This is easy. But when we want to print a variable, we need two things. We have to write semicolon, we have to write double quotation. Inside this double quotation, we should write %d if we want to print the integer value, the integer variable. %d, what is the %d? What is the name of this %d? The name of this %d is placeholder or a specifier. So what does it mean? It means that with writing this code, this %d, we will save a place in the RAM of our computer. We will save a place and we will write our variable, we will assign the value of our variable, this 5, on that place which is inside our RAM, inside our computer. So in order to print a variable, we have to write %d if our variable is integer, and if our variable is character or double or float, we will work on that. If our variable is integer, we will write %d, and here \n, it means new line, and we don't need it again also. So here, and after that, outside the double quotation, we put semicolon in order to separate these blocks, and we will write after that the name of our variable. The name of our variable is x, and we will write here x. So let's compile and see the output. As you can see, it printed 5. 5 was the value of our variable x. And also we can write, before the %d, we can write x colon space. Let's compile it again. As you can see, x is 5. This is the output. Let's create a double variable and print it. I'm going to write, so before that, I'm going to write a float variable, float y, equal sign, and I'm going to write, for example, 10. 10.11. So this is our y variable. I'm going to print it. I'm going to say printf, open close parentheses, and inside this parentheses, we have to write double quotation. And in order to print a float variable, we use %f, or also we can use %d. This is okay for %f, both of them are. Use \n, and here I'm going to put comma in order to separate that, and I'm going to write the name of our variable, y. And after this printf function, we have to put semicolon. This is semicolon, and we will, every time we want to see our program, we want to see the output, we have to first compile, and again we have to run it. Here, I'm going to compile it, gcc -o, the name of file.c. I'm going to hit the enter, and again, I just write / and the name of file. As you can see, it printed x is 5 and 10.11000. Why they are next to each other? Because we didn't use \n here. In the first printf function, I'm going to write \n. This is for creating a new line. Let's compile it again. As you can see, the lines are separated now. X is 5. This is in the first line, and the second one is 10.11000. So what is this? Zeros. And I'm going to eliminate these zeros here before the f. Between the % and f, I'm going to write dot, and I'm going to write 1 or 2, every number. This is 2. 2 is the quantity of numbers after the decimal number. So let's compile it again. As you can see, it printed 10.11, 10.11, 2 number. If I created 1 number, let's compile it. It will show us just one number after decimal. If I created 3, it will show us 3 number after decimal. As you can see, 10.110. So this is the float variable, and also I'm going to create a double variable. I'm going to write double, and the name of this variable is z. I want to assign, for example, 12.12345 and 67. So this is the value of variable z. Let's compile it. Before that, I'm going to write printf. I'm going to print it. So inside that, I'm going to write %f, and also we have to use \n, and I'm going to separate it with comma, and I'm going to write the name of our variable z. So I'm going to put semicolon here. Let's compile it. As you can see here, it printed 12.12345.7. So it didn't show us the 6. So let's do the value of float again. This number, I'm going to write float 12.1234567. Let's compare the precision of float and double. So as you can see here, the float is 12.123. It will show us just 3 number, and the double show us 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It will show 5 number correctly, and after that it will show us 7, and it eliminated the 6 number. It just show us 7. So the precision of float number is just 3 number, and the precision of double number is more than float. It is 5 number. This is the difference between float and double. If our number after decimal, or if our number before decimal, it doesn't matter. If our number is very, very long, we have to use double. And if our number is not very long, and it is decimal, we use float. So, and the next data type is character. So I'm going to write char, and the name of this character will be A, and we will assign the value capital A to this character A, and I'm going to put semicolon after that. Let's print it again. I'm going to write printf. So here inside this printf function, in order to print a character variable, we use %c, and also I'm going to use \n. So we will use comma here, and I'm going to write the name of our variable. Our variable name is A. I'm going to just write A and semicolon. Let's compile it again. As you can see, it printed capital A. So to sum up, in order to print a integer variable, we use %d. And in order to use a float variable and also a double variable, we use %f for both of them. And also, in order to print the character variable, we use %c. And the name of this are placeholder or specifier. So here, inside this printf function, we use .c. Let's clear that. Let's write it again. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7 is okay. 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's compile and compare it again. Both of them are correct until now. And let's make it more 8, 9. And also I'm gonna write here 8, 9. 5, 7. As you can see here, float number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Also, both of them are the same here. But in general, in order to print a very long number, we use float number, and print a in order to print a very long number, we use double, and in order to print a short number and decimal number, we use the float. And precision of double is very more than float. The precision of float is not very high, and double has a very high precision. This is the basic difference between them. So let's review the topics and see. The next one is format specifier or placeholder that we have learned about it. Format specifier is this %F, %F, %C, %D. They are the format specifier. And the next one is input and output, scanf, input and output. We have learned the output, which is this printf function here, and we will learn about input in the next lecture. So yeah, we don't have enough time to cover it. It is somehow tricky. So let's sum up our life. To sum up, we said that first of all, we will install our compiler and we will install a text editor. And when we install that, inside this text editor, we will go on File and we will open a folder. And then inside that folder, we will create a file, and we have to write our file with the name of file and .c with C extension. And inside this project, we should write, first of all, we should include the header file, and this header file is studio.h. We write #include studio.h, and inside this header file we will create our main function. The type of this function is integer, and we have to write the name of this function main if we want to if our compiler recognize our code. And inside this main function we will write our code, and we said that we can also delete this integer, and we will write wait, and we delete this return here. This is also correct. Let's compile and see. As you can see, it works also correctly. So if we want to write a type for our function should have a return. And if it doesn't have any type, if before the name of our function is wait, we don't need any return. So inside that, we said that we have 4 different data types: integer, float, double, and character. And also we have learned the variable. We said that every variable has a different type, and integer is for the whole number, and float is for floating point number, for decimal number, and double is also for decimal number. And the difference between float and double is that double is double is more precise than float. The precision of double is more than float. And the next data type is character. And we write char, and inside this variable character, we just assign a character value. And in order to write a character value, we should write it inside a single quotation. If we use double quotation, it will show us an error. Let's write double quotation and capital A, compile it. As you can see, it shows us an error. And we will write it inside single quotation. If we compile it, it will work correctly, as you can see here. So this is it for this lecture. And if there is any question, please write it here and we will answer. Does anyone hear me? There is 4 people now in this live, and the quality of life is excellent. So restore chat. If anyone hear me, if there is any question, please put your comment about the lecture. Thanks. Someone write thanks. So impressive. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think your name is Ansumana. Sorry if there's mispronunciation. Thank you very much. And if there is no question, we will end the live and see you the next lecture. So this is the topics that we will cover, and I will update it. After that, the next live we will work on input and about scanf, and after that we will work on conditional and loop, if conditional, relational operator, if else statement, and other conditional, and I will update this list. So we will cover all of the important topics in C language. So, okay guys, see you in next class on Friday. Okay guys. Thank you for all of you. See you next lecture, and bye for now.